ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Based Edge Podcast, a show where, well, based views and opinions are going to be had and said about topical things around the world. We search for anything and everything. I mean, we'll talk about conspiracy theories, won't we, Mark?
Oh, yes. I love conspiracy theories.
Yeah. And we'll talk about, we're obviously talking Attack the Woke. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. You have to. That's just part and parcel of the show. It's in the name.
And of course, because we live in South Africa, we're going to have a lot of South African guests. We do have a guest today, so stay tuned for that. And we're going to be talking, I think a lot of it will be about South African politics. Yes. Not every episode, but we will touch on it because we live in South Africa. And obviously we'll touch on other geopolitical stuff, whether it be in Europe.
Yeah, like Star Wars and the Empire.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, because those are serious matters.
It was a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That's how that started. But anyway, today, our first episode, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to talk about Disney, specifically. It's Mark's favorite topic. Don't let that sigh fool you. He loves Disney. Like he denies it because he's embarrassed about how many times he's visited Disney.
I'd actually love to go. I really wanted to, like that whole like Star Wars theme thing that they had with the hotel. Okay, I was cool, and then I saw the prices. I'm like, you must be joking.
There's a video making the rounds now where Disney, you're not going to want to go after this. I don't even want to go now. Where Disney is actually asking people to wear pronoun badges. Sorry, is it pronouns? Yeah. So
like you're at Disney World.
At Disney World, yeah. So because, and this is in the video, it states that they don't want the staff to mispronounce or misgender or whatever it is. Get someone's pronouns wrong. So you can walk around, and here's the thing: they give you, it's called a pronoun badge or whatever, and then they give you a pen, and you can write your pronouns down. So if you want to be a whiz or a unicorn or a...
Disney's requiring all guests to wear pronoun pins. These pins allow Disney cast members and other guests to refer to you by your preferred pronouns. All guests will be required to wear pronoun pins inside the park. This is to prevent Disney from ending up in a lawsuit for misgendering a guest, since it's considered a hate crime. If a guest is caught not wearing the pronoun pin, they will be asked to put it on. If they don't comply, they may be removed from the park and potentially receive a lifetime ban from Disney World.
A whiz.
Whatever it is.
A Z or a Zer.
Yeah.
And
the staff
first episode
have to they have to dress this. Like they have to,
Oh wow.
Hello, whiz.
I would obviously be like Lord Vader or just like, Your Majesty, Obviously.
That's actually not a bad idea. My Lord. That's
my Lord.
I would write that.
I would go my Lord Trump, Savior, or something like that. Just like, because obviously most of the people work there are like super woke, and they're just going to hate it. So every time you'd walk up to them, excuse me, and they'd have to look at your badge and go, His Majesty Trump or something like that. Just like they would just cringe saying it,
I would pay you to go and do that.
We should maybe start a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
send Mork to Disney World.
Film it and everything, and then see what happens.
God, yeah, now like the first comment's going to be, "Oh, these new grifters on YouTube."
Speaking of which,
yes.
So this show is mainly focused to be a podcast. So wherever you listen to your podcast stuff, then go check us out, give us a subscribe. But you can also view the podcast because we made it all pretty. On YouTube and other social media platforms. So please just, Google Based Edge Podcast or wherever you're on social media, just look for it and you should find it. We're very excited. In case you guys don't know, Mork has his own show on YouTube. It's called The Mork Rock Show. I have my own show called The Joe Emilio Show, also on YouTube. So you guys, thank you.
It's a very good show. I love
Mork's
your show.
Not so much. I don't subscribe to me. No, I'm kidding. Mork's actually I love a lot of your videos. I really do. I'm a fan of your
Thank you,
show.
sir.
But I think the last two videos you've put out have been exquisite. Just
Thank you.
the level of
Well, I
comedy.
mean, I think that's kind of how we met. I was a fan of your work, and then
Yeah.
you were a fan of my work, and somehow we just it was magic. It was a romantic moment.
And now here we are talking about Disney. So, okay, so that's the one thing, right? So I don't know. I would pay Mark to go to Disney and do that whole pronoun thing, but I'm not gonna go to Disney now. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna take my kid. I think Disney's gonna lose a lot of money. They're already bleeding money. I don't know if anybody knows this, but apparently there's rumors that are going around that what's his name is going to sell at least Disney Plus.
Bob
apparently,
Iger.
Bob Iger, that's the one.
Yeah.
Do you know about this?
But I mean, I kind of know. I heard about it. Heard a couple of rumors. There's rumors been going on for a while, though. I think it all started with the previous CEO. I mean, initially Bob Iger was the original CEO. Then he stepped down. It passed on to Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek was a little bit more of a centrist politically. He wanted to sort of change things up, and I think it was, again, this is complete rumor. Take it with a pinch of salt. He wanted to start firing people because I think how Disney got in the predicament was years and years of hiring sort of very woke. If you go back in like 2014, where Kathleen Kennedy, where they acquired Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy's going, the Force is female. She's bragging about, there was a article where she's showing her writers that are it's just female writers, the Force is female. But that's where it started going downhill. And obviously with having those hires, you can't just, fire people. These are top end, and then they make those same hiring decisions down the chain. And now you're getting to a stage where Disney's media is just not, everything coming out is just not, it's just not working, and they're hemorrhaging money.
Yeah, and I mean, the streaming service isn't what they thought it was going to be. I think the figure was 400 million. Some of that.
They've lost massive amounts of subscribers.
Yeah. And this is where the rumor started that Disney's going to sell, apparently to Apple, although Apple has denied the rumors that they're going to buy any Disney product. Who can blame them? Although, I don't know, man. Do you think let's entertain this, even though like it's people, I want people to understand, like Apple has not confirmed that they would do this. So take it with a pinch of salt. But like, let's play a bit of imaginary here. Do you think Apple would have a good influence on the content that Disney has?
Ooh. Yeah, it's a rough one. I mean, if you look at the content coming out of Apple, it's like it's some of it's actually really good. It's what is the what can I can't even think of anything right now. But it's like,
that's how good it is, guys.
I do notice
that's how brilliant the stuff is.
But your point, which is basically, would Apple, would it work if Apple bought it? I don't know. I mean, Apple likes doing everything internally. So they would be buying not just the IP. I mean, they're buying the three branches, which is Disney World, Disney Studios, and then what's the third one? Disney Streaming. And with that comes all the staff, all the writers, all the people in charge, as well as all the IP. And I mean, I don't know if the IP is included, like the intellectual property of like Iron Man, all of Marvel, all of Disney, all of Lucasfilm. So I mean, is that amount of money is? I mean, would the price include all of that stuff?
I don't know. They've never been specific of what exactly. I think just for now, it was rumored Disney Plus and Fox and some other streaming services, which I think Apple would kind of pump the brakes on the wokeness. I really do.
Yeah.
But then again, if they got like hold of Marvel and all these other ones, I don't know. I don't know if that would improve.
I don't think, but I can't think of anything in their in their streaming service that is very super like woke. It's in the forefront of it. I can't put my finger on a single thing. I mean, if you had to ask me about Amazon, I'd go, yeah, it's well there. I mean, look at the Rings of Power. It was, everything, the hiring, the writing, everything is just woke, is injected into all of it, intersectionality, all that. But I don't see it so blatant with Apple's content. So maybe they could put it in the right direction, because the thing is, at the end of the day, Apple wants to make money.
True.
If they bought it, maybe, but I mean, that's if they can fire everybody. That's not already been fired with what Bob Iger's doing, trying to get rid of a lot of the writers, and then you've got the writer strike and the actors. So it's this combination of like a complete cluster bomb.
I just got an image in my mind about if Apple was to buy Disney, right? Like, who's the CEO of Apple again? I forget his name.
It's not.
He does the whole
Steve Jobs.
No, Steve Jobs did. Like, he does the whole Steve Jobs thing. Apple does what Apple does, right? So they hire out the whole venue, and they have like a whole presentation, and it looks very clean and professional and all that stuff. And I just have this image in my mind of the CEO walking up on stage, right? And he's like, "Hey guys, we're gonna go into a new frontier this year. We're happy to bring to you Disney Plus."
Disney, Marvel, Iron Man. Look at I'm just having a quick look at Apple's like what they have, all their shows, and it's really good shows. I mean, A Servant I loved. Mythic Quest is great. Ted Lasso was doing well. And again, with Ted Lasso, first season good, second season introducing a lot of woke. I haven't even bothered with the third season, but I think they notice these things when they do it. So, and I think there's I hope this is one of my deep, darkest hopes, is that they're starting to notice that it is not working. It's not selling. It's not. People aren't going back. People don't want that type of content. People want their content, their entertainment to be apolitical. They don't want it to be sort of put a little bit in, put 5%, 10% in, but don't be it like all over the top. And I think that's the issue. But I mean, Apple buying them, I don't know. I don't know if they can. What I'd love to know is whether it includes the intellectual property, like if that stuff is separate. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching Foundation on Apple. It's like a sort of space. It's a great show. It's like, I think it's a book or something, but it's amazing. It's very much like Dune, that type of vibe. But it's an actually really cool series. Really been enjoying it. Season 1 is excellent.
Well, talking about other rumors that have been circulating, I mean, this came out and I thought it was real. I still told you about it.
Yeah.
And then I did a bit more research for the show, and I found out that it's actually not been confirmed. It's a rumor. So for those of you who don't know, what is true is that Disney has been working on a live action version of Tangled, the animation, based on Rapunzel, the fairy tale. So Mark's already laughing because he knows what's coming.
Trying to keep a straight face here.
He knows what's coming. So for those of you who may not have heard, this is a rumor, but it was presented at the time when I saw it, it was presented as fact, but it turns out not so much. But the rumor is that Jada Pinkett Smith would be playing Rapunzel in the upcoming Disney live action remake. Turns out, though, Jada has come out and said that's not true. But here's how insane, like, the level of wokeness that Disney is doing. Some of us believed it because they've been going so woke, right? That some of us would think, or some of us would believe, like, yeah, no, they would get a bold black actress to play Rapunzel. Why not?
Yeah, because that's in the line of correcting. It's like it's in that intersectional world of like, we need to correct the wrongs of society or life, or like somebody who has who's super unprivileged, like Jada Pinkett Smith, who doesn't really have a lot of money, and she's gone bald, and she's never been a star in anything.
You don't know what it's like to be bald, man. You don't understand the struggle.
It is so hard.
You can't buy shampoo.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, I mean, she can't either. I mean, if only she had money. Oh wait, she's super rich. God, she's married Will Smith. She probably has half of all the people.
It's like imagine Jada Pinkett Smith came out with a shampoo line.
What does it help you go bald?
Maybe. But I want to ask her though, like, she should have had the name Head and Shoulders. I'm just saying, like, that should have been her brand. Um, I better shut up because Will Smith might come out and slap me.
Oh, wow.
But I'd actually really like to get the thoughts of all this with our guest, ladies and gentlemen, who is in studio at the moment. He's been waiting patiently and listening in to the conversation so we can get right into the hot topics almost immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know him from Manpatria Podcast. If you don't, links are in the description, so please go have a listen. This guy is also based as beep. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dumo Denga, also known as Dumo.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Mark. How you guys doing?
We're good, man.
Good,
We're
sir.
good. Thank you so much for being gracious enough to be our first guest on this podcast. We're so excited.
Now, I feel honored. It's always good being on your shows, Joe. Now it's a different one. And yeah, looking forward to having a great conversation.
Awesome, man. Speaking of which, do you have anything to say about this whole Disney situation?
Yeah, I think I think that there's a lot of factors that are playing into Disney's situation. I think the first one is that there's a lot of streaming services, and I just don't think Disney has distinguished itself enough to probably attract the right viewer base. Because there's Netflix, and then there's Apple TV, and then there's even YouTube as well, right? YouTube Premium, if you want to put it that way. But that's just you don't want to see the ads there. Then, and I'm pretty sure there's others. There's a lot more. So now you're competing, and then you need to try to distinguish yourself from others. And you'd say, well, what distinguishes us from the rest is that there's Disney movies here. And then, the problem with that is that all of the Disney classics, people my age have probably watched them like over 10, 15 times, and they'll probably watch it again just for nostalgia purposes. But, they won't, buy a subscription. And plus, a lot of people have the DVDs as well, So, why should I watch it on Disney Plus if I can get it on DVD, or if I already have it on DVD? In fact, there's someone that I work with who actually is a big Marvel fan, and he's got all the Marvel movies on DVD. And I'm pretty sure there are those who are like that from a Disney perspective as well. So now you have to create new content as a Disney, let's say, content creator. Where are you pointing to? What's going on?
I'm pointing at Mark, who's collecting Disney movies.
Oh,
Hi.
yeah. So now let's say now you understand that as a like Disney CEO or something, or a product manager, if you want to put it that way. And then now you have to create new content. That's going to be very difficult. The chances are you're going to try and make remakes, right? So that's everyone's doing remakes now. It's in the gaming industry, everything like that. And now when you remakes, you're going to say you want to reimagine it for a modern audience, which is just another way of saying we're going to make it more woke and stuff like that. And then it just ends up being so terrible. And I think when movies go woke, I think what the producers, not the producers, but the guys who actually sell it, the guys who actually make money from it, what they're hoping is that the outrage, distributors, exactly. The outrage from that movie, or the announcement of that movie, will generate enough sales. And I think that's not working anymore. I think people are just tired of seeing woke stuff. Like the first 3 or 4 movies, it's like, yeah, I'm going to watch this. And then people get outraged and people say, hey, what's really going on here? And everything like that. But then after a while, people just get tired. And then even with that, the Snow White, the main actor in that film, I forgot her name. What was her name again? I was reading the article, but anyway, I think her name is
Gal Gadot, the Wonder Woman.
No, no way, not Gal Gadot. Hell,
it's Rachel Zegler.
Yes, Rachel Zegler, not Gal Gadot. Hell no.
But Gal Gadot's going to be she's the evil stepmother in Snow White. Yes, this is just.
Why
I don't
can't
understand.
she be Snow White?
My point exactly.
Yeah, I don't know why she's not Snow White. I mean, look, maybe she like, but yeah, look, it might work. It might work. It might work. That might work. Let's say if you are recreating it and you're keeping the script more or less the same, that might work. But now the problem is that now people are the main actor is coming out and saying that, oh, the prince is like a stalker and everything, and it's I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna work out well, because now
Yeah.
I just feel that people are just tired of the wokeness. It's like, okay, dude, we get it. Like, yes, you Marxist. Yes, you like your pronouns. Yes, you like all of this stuff. But just leave our movies alone. Like, we get it. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk to our kids about it, and so forth. Or maybe this is what they want to do, right? Maybe they want to make the new movie so bad that people go onto their streaming platforms to watch the old ones and say, this is what we watched as kids and this is better. Maybe that's what they want. I don't know. But then again, they'll just go back to the DVDs, right? They won't go to the platform. So yeah, I'm just trying to imagine like what they're trying to achieve here. But I just feel that the wokeness stuff is a bit too forced. Just create a new woke movie, man. Just
Yeah.
like,
No, exactly.
so it's like, be creative. Don't like take something old and then try to reimagine it. It doesn't work unless there's another purpose that makes sense.
Let me
Yeah.
jump in because you make a very good point, Dumo, which is I'm seeing it all over social media. It's like people are like, you've changed, like let's take Snow White, for example. You've changed Snow White. Because the actress going out and saying like, yeah, but Snow White, it's not the 70s or the 60s or whatever anymore. It's a new Snow White or whatever. And people are just like, yeah, but like we fell in love with that old story because it's a story of like how dwarves helped their mother-like figure, whatever. It's a coming-of-age tale. The prince is not a stalker; he's a savior in a way. Sorry, probably can't say that, but like I don't know what he like. It's just here's the thing, right? Sorry, I'm getting like really emotional, angry with this because just take a breather. Hold on. Okay, my point is like when we were growing up, boys and girls. Okay, and not the 1,000 other genders, just the boys and girls. We're told that, if you're a boy, you're told you need to be a prince and a nice prince. Prince always saves the damsel in distress, right? When you're a girl, you're told you're a princess and you're gonna grow up and you're gonna find Prince Charming. That was like the thing, right? So when you see movies like Snow White as a kid, right? Boys are watching it from a different perspective, girls are watching it from a different perspective, but none of them are harmful. What is wrong with the dwarves? What is wrong with the story itself? Because as far as I can tell, there's a lot of lessons to be learned in the movie of Snow White. And
Principles, morals.
yeah, and one of the things also that has pissed people off about this new Snow White is that they're not even hiring dwarves to be the dwarves. Like they've completely changed the seven dwarves. And to your point, Dumo, if you're going to change so much fundamental things about this story, then just make a new freaking story. Because to your point again, we all have the DVDs, right? We've all seen them. It's just our kids that like haven't seen them yet. So, and we want to go to the movie and show that we want to relive what we went through their eyes or whatever. And I think a lot of parents are going to be very, very disappointed. And if anybody disagrees with me, you just have to look at how Disney is bleeding money. And Mark, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Well, I mean, I wanted to something that Dumo was saying. It's like what it almost feels like the writers that they've employed at Disney, they want to make the story sort of like you said, Dumo. They want to make it relevant to people living today. But I mean, the thing is, a lot of these stories, a lot of the stories from Disney are stories, like it's the Grimm brothers tales. It's like folk tales that they've turned into like animated movies. Those stories stood the test of time because they weren't never changed. So I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like going as far as changing and making it no more relevant. It's no longer relevant because you've changed. If you strip away the moral lesson, the principles of like being a gentleman, being a lady, and like, I mean, look at Sleeping Beauty. You had the bad guy that, they judging somebody like Beauty and the Beast, judging a person on their looks and not their character. It's like, these are deep integral things that are part of these stories. That's the kind of lessons you learn. Now you strip it away, and what do you have? The things aren't going to stand the test of time. It's going to be gone in a month or two. No one's going to care about it. No one's going to rewatch it, 10 years from now. I will rewatch The Little Mermaid and all those old classics because they're amazing. Peter Pan, all of them. They're epic tales.
I think it really you got to be smart about it. Okay, that's the thing. So let's say I'll give you a video game, for example. So Resident Evil 4 released in 2005, right? I think the people say that was the best Resident Evil ever. I haven't played it, right? But they made a remake.
Dare you?
I don't think at that time my folks were never gonna allow me to play that. But apparently it was good. And then they made a remake. Now what they did was they made it a bit shorter and so forth. They did adapt it to a modern audience, but it was not because of the fact that that they had inappropriate scenes or whatever. It was because a lot of the games today, they don't like high difficulty levels, so they had to adapt the game for that, especially the guys who review the games, like the IGN's guys and everything like that. So one would say that yes, you can reimagine it perhaps for that purpose, like, for that modern audience. Perhaps the modern audience prefers a certain type of gameplay and stuff like that. Now, there were people that played both of them. There was one critic that I watched, and he said it was a good game, but he felt it could have been better in other respects because, like, for example, in the original game, they had these like cutscenes of phone calls where Leon would speak to like Lord Adler, something like that.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right. And then there was Ramon as well, but Ramon was this petulant child. But in this one, Ramon's like an old person, right? And so forth. And he felt that those type of conversations actually made the game really cool. It's Lord Sadler. Now I remember. Now now Lord Sadler was almost like a cameo guy. You only saw him like 3 or 4 times in the remake, but in the original you saw him quite a lot. So it worked. I won't lie, the remake worked. But then you know what they did on top of that? They added a game mode that it's almost like that has replayability, good replayability on it. It was called Mercenaries mode. That's on the remake. So, and I think that's more for the modern audience. So I think that works. Now, you are going to make sacrifices. You don't want to make it exactly like the original because then you're going to call it a remaster. So you make a remake, but then you add another mode to it that adds replayability. That for me is like the closest that you're going to get to a good remake or good reimagining. Now with the movie, if you're going to make a live action film, you got to make it very good. You have to make it epic. You got to have good visual effects. You got to have good writers writing the story as well, making it a bit better, but they don't have that. Now they got bad writers. They got writers that just hate everything about the world. And then now they make a remake and it becomes so terrible. And then people ask, well, why did you make it in the first place if you really hate everything? So I think for me so the standard would be that you have to understand the audience, see what they like, and then try to make the remake based on that while sacrificing as little as possible on the original. So it's got to be new, still keep elements of the original, but also, also exploiting what people like today. That's, for me, is the formula.
To add on to what you said, I think people should love the source material, which is, I mean, if you love a source material, right? Like I love Iron Man, or like I love Resident Evil. They did a remake of 2 and 3, and I played the originals, and it was amazing. I love the remakes. But that's like, you can see it's whoever remade it, they love the material. They love the source material.
Yes.
The people rewriting Snow White, it's like, if you loved it, why do you want to change it? It's like going, that's not good enough, I'm going to make it better. No, don't make it better. It's the same with Lord of the Rings. It's like, you cannot be better than Tolkien. Please don't try. But they went and did that. It's silly.
They remade the Lord of the Rings.
Right.
The Rings of Power. It was the Silmarillion, which was Rings of Power is what sort of Tolkien wrote, and they changed everything on that because they wanted to go their way.
Oh, I didn't know that. But what I also wanted to maybe speak to you guys about, like, so we're talking about like remakes and Disney and all that stuff, right? And how wokeness is infiltrated and it's screwing up the remakes, basically. But what about, you guys are talking about originals and stuff like, what about an original movie? Or not an original movie, like, let me throw this out, because Dumo spoke about Resident Evil, right? Great example. Love the games, by the way. Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
The fact that you guys are laughing. So Barbie, we all know Barbie, right? Toy for little girls, now made into a movie. Wokeness, I think, really got in the way with that one. Mainly feminism, though. Because apparently it's a huge attack on men, and I'm paraphrasing what a lot of people are saying about it. And I'm assuming that Mark and Dumo, you guys haven't seen it.
No, I haven't. I watched the reviews, but I haven't seen the original.
Well, once you watch the review, there's no. I'm not going to spend money to watch it.
Well, I mean, if you watched Ben Shapiro's like your 50-minute review, it's basically the movie. There's the whole thing.
This movie is a flaming piece of dog piled atop an entire dumpster on fire, piled atop a landfill filled with dog. It is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Don't even watch it. Just having Ben read it to you.
Oh, he was pissed off in that video. He was pissed off in that video, rightfully so. But yeah, like, okay, so Barbie, right? Barbie had an attack on the patriarchy. Men are trash. That all that stuff kind of comes to the fore in that movie. I think there could have been a very sweet, innocent, and again, putting a female lead in a movie is not a bad thing. No. I mean, you have Ripley from Aliens, right?
Good Lord.
Strong
Best
female
lead ever.
Right. You have this is a
Sarah
bit.
Connor.
You have Sarah Connor. You have from the Resident Evil movies, even though they weren't the best, Mila Jovovich. Yeah. She's a great actress. There's a lot of good female leads or characters in the Hollywood sphere, right? And I feel that with this one, with Barbie, they really missed the mark to have a very strong female lead to inspire, to hit the target audience that they're looking for. Instead, it's just, I don't know, man. I think what I'm trying to ask is, like, are we now going to be screwing up even movies that could be original in a way, and original with quotes, because Barbie, again, this isn't a movie that was made before. This is like a new movie. It's taken from a toy, but it's a movie. They made a story, and I think they screwed it up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's the thing about wokeness. It can even ruin an original movie as well. I think also as well. I mean, who produced the movie? Was it the lead actor? Was the lead actor, right? She produced it. Or was it someone else? But either way,
Google.
Either way. I mean, I'm surprised Ryan Gosling took the role as well, because I'll tell you why. Because I think that you get a chance to read the script. I remember, perfect example, Christopher Lambert. He was rated on Mortal Kombat in the 1995 movie.
I don't think so.
And he did a good job. And then years later, after they filmed that disaster, the second Mortal Kombat movie, then they ask him, "Why didn't you appear on that movie?" And he's like, "I read the script and it was horrible. I don't want to be on that." You know what I mean? And I'm just like, well, why don't actors have that discretion? I mean, I'm pretty sure if anyone read that script, they would have been like, "Oh, this is more woke nonsense or whatever." Or maybe there's a maybe there's some these guys were blackmailed. Maybe there's something that the producers knew about them, and they said, "Hey, if you don't act on this Barbie movie, hey, hey, we don't want this information going out." That's how it sounds like from what I heard from the reviews. But yeah, I just it's unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate that this was a great opportunity, in my opinion, again, to create a movie that now it's you're not even making a remake. So what you have to do is look at the modern audience, see what they like, and then create a Barbie movie based on that. I mean, maybe it could have been more relatable. Let's say in that movie, the plot is that they're in a Barbie world and there's a disease that comes out and it makes them real people and they want to be Barbies. You know what I'm saying? That would have been interesting. And then you could have taken all of the pandemic themes that came from there, like the jab and how the virus spreads and do we need to do lockdowns? That would have been a brilliant plot, But again, that opportunity is now lost because people wanted to push cultural Marxism.
And then Barbie saves the day.
Exactly. Or Ken as well,
Yeah.
It would have been really interesting if you got like someone, like you'll find a lot of philosophers, they like to write science fiction.
Yeah.
And you'll find there's a lot of books out there that are really great science fiction that you can actually put into movies. And I think Barbie would have been an excellent example because again, it's Barbie. I mean, you can do almost anything with that except, including woke stuff. But when it's the woke stuff, it just turns out to be really bad.
But I mean, like, I was also shocked. Like, okay, so I don't know. Maybe Ryan Gosling is woke himself. I don't know. But like, when I first saw the trailer to Barbie, I was like, okay, they didn't show a lot in the trailer, so it's like, okay, it looks all right. So like, I might watch this. We'll see. And then I knew to wait because that's what I do now with movies. I wait for the reviews from Ben Shapiro because he's usually a straight shooter. And then although I don't agree with his view on Marvel, but anyway, so I waited for the review. Ben was pissed. Then I knew I'm probably not going to like that movie. And here's the thing. Like, I was also like, Ryan Gosling? Really? The guy who did The Notebook? Really? Did this? Because even now with more visuals coming out, right? More clips from the movie coming out, it doesn't look like real acting, to be honest. It looks very, very theater, very, how do you say, I don't know. It just doesn't feel. I don't feel like you. I could be misreading it completely, but from my point of view, Ryan doesn't look happy acting in that movie. I don't know, Mark. Maybe.
I can tell you why he did it.
Money.
But like the thing is with the Barbie movie is, and this is the quite funny part of it, is like it was so heavily laced with cultural Marxism, with intersectionality, that at the end of the day, I think I saw a couple of articles where they started pointing out that the movie was so feminist heavy that it actually pointed out, it showed the actual authoritarianism of feminism, and in this world where the women are in charge and men are subservient. And people watched it walking away going, well, that's not a world I ever want to live in. This female power vibe. The amount of money that they used, Barbie's budget was about $145 million. And then you double that, say another 100, 200 million just for marketing. And with Barbie, they went all out. And I mean, it was very much, it's iconic in the sense of like, I would say the reason it did well was because the same reason the first Transformers movie did well. It's the first, like, I'd say, epic toy, female toy, like a girl toy that turned into a franchise. Like, and they had a massive movie. Remember when the first Transformers came out? It was huge. That movie did pretty well. And this is the same. Like, if they had to do Barbie 2, I don't think it'll do anywhere close to what it did in this initial one.
Well, here's something interesting, guys. So I'm reading up. I wanted to see like the results, the box office results, and for Barbie,
They're doing well.
and surprisingly now has hit over $1 billion,
Yeah,
which
well,
apparently
it's not
only
too.
50 movies have done in the history of movies. So maybe a bit of the outrage that's happening has encouraged people to go and watch it because they want to see it for themselves. And I mean, that does happen.
Hate watch.
Hate watch, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
Gonna be, we're going to be hate watched in this. We're going to be hate watched and we're going to be hate listened to.
Oh, yeah.
There's people right now listening to this podcast that are like, I hate these guys so much. I'm going to cancel you guys. Yes. The trolls of Twitter are going to get you. Yeah. Now imagine some of them are in their rooms. You know, I'm just me. I'm going to get you. But anyway.
They're typing the email already.
Another supreme victory coming. Anyway, so anyway,
No, nothing's going to be that supreme. Come on, that was epic.
there's someone, a troll right now is like, challenge accepted. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. That might encourage them to do a number 2. Just the fact that they got 1 point.
Yeah.
You know,
I definitely agree. I think they'll do a number 2, but I do think it's got to do with, like, if you think about it, what other sort of, like, we had Ninja Turtles as a kid, we had He-Man, we had all these. It's very male kind of driven toys that turned into like movies, which kind of goal, you know, like you talk about like 4 or 5 generations of women that grew up with Barbie. You know, this is across the world, and then now there's the first movie about the toy. I think that's the link to why it's doing exceptionally well. I mean, I could be wrong, but sorry, Dumo, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. That actually makes sense, Mark. I agree. It's almost like pent up demand, you know? It's like, hey, you know, I've seen all these other ones. Let's see the Barbie one. And I think, because it's the first one and it's such an epic toy and it has been so iconic for a long period of time, I do believe that's probably the reason why. And I think most of them were kids. I think what happens as well is that, you know, I'm pretty sure when Barbie came out, you know, people were wearing, the girls, at least I know the girls at least, you know, I'm not saying only the girls, but we're probably wearing, you know, pink outfits and everything like that, representing the movie. The same thing with Black Panther, you know, people were wearing black and they had the mask on and so forth. Yeah. So I think it's on that type of level. So yeah, I think it makes sense. I think the person who thought about making such a movie, I think from a money perspective was very smart and would know that even though it might have woke trash in it, people are still going to watch it regardless. Yeah. Because hey, it's Barbie, you know, it's my favorite toy. Not mine, but someone else.
You make a very good point, Dumo. Sorry, Mark. Like, as soon as it came out, my wife was like, "Oh my god, I had Barbies since I was a kid. I'm gonna go watch it." I'm like, "Babe, it's like just complete woke trash." She's like, "I don't care. It's Barbie." It's like it's kind of that vibe, you know.
Oh my word, your wife treated it like a hairdresser. Like, women are very loyal to their hairdressers, and she's like, "I don't give a damn. It's Barbie.
Don't care.
Barbie was there for me, okay? She was there for me." They didn't invite me to the party when I was 9 years old. She was there. I held her. Sorry, I didn't. Anyway, Dumo, we're actually going to step into the conclusion part of the show. You're welcome to join and sign off with us, or, you know, it's been a pleasure having you. It's up to you. If you want to stay, you can. If you want to go, if you need to go, it's up to you.
I just want to, sorry, before you go, Dumo, I just want to make one comment. Like you just said earlier about the whole sci-fi and the great writers, I wanted to comment, Starship Troopers.
Yes.
One of the absolute amazing with like great politics. I just wanted to say you're 100% right with what you said earlier. Starship Troopers is a glowing example of that. Sorry, that's it.
No problem. It was, Yeah, thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, I have to go now, guys. It was really awesome.
No problem. Thanks.
All right,
so
cool.
much
But
for
before
that.
you go, just tell people where they can. I mean, we'll have links in the description, but tell people how they can find you if they want to listen to your stuff and all that.
Right. Okay. So right now for Manpatria, I'm not producing much content. I'm still like on holiday type of vibes. But if you want to, just see what I do, you can find me on Twitter at Dumo Denga. And then you'll get all the information from there. But yeah, you really love my Twitter, guys. My Twitter is really awesome. It's getting better and better every day.
Yeah, the Supreme Victory memes you're gonna love.
Oh.
All right, Dumo. Listen, man. For once again, thank you so much for being our first guest of this podcast. We'll definitely have you back. So this isn't like the last time or anything. We're definitely going to have you back. We'll talk about other things. But thank you so much for your insight. Thank you so much for being based, and thank you for your time.
Cool. Thanks, Joe.
All right.
And
Cheers,
thanks,
man.
Mark.
Thanks, Dumo.
All righty. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dumo Denga. Please go check him out. Unfortunately, he couldn't stay with us for the rest of the show, but that's okay. Mark and I will drive it to the end. So, for the first episode, not too shabby, man. Not too shabby. How do you think it's going so far, Mark?
I'm loving it. I love this guest thing. This is quite fun. I really enjoy this. I love the concept of just having a conversation with with like-minded people. Also, I wouldn't mind having a conversation with people who don't agree with us. Like I would love to have. If you don't agree, come chat to us.
Love
If
to
you
have
don't agree
Julius
with
on the
any
show.
of the
Yeah.
views-
No, I can hear you.
Oh yes. I mean, he's just going to carry on talking. He will not shut up. It's just like blah 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 blah. Like, at least someone that's got some.
Crybabies.
He'll just come on and start singing his song.
Shiniwa,
beatbox
Shiniwa. That's not the
It's
song?
not a real song.
No.
I don't know.
I know the song you're talking about. I
Troubles
just don't want to be
in my
demonetized. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
No, I wanted to say that like we might actually be talking about the song in the next episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, do keep an eye out for episode 2 because we will be talking about what Julius Malema, leader of the third largest political party in South Africa, recently sang a horrible song in front of hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Well, he's gotten some backlash. Finally, a lot of people hearing about this for the first time, but he's been doing this for a while, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Is he the next Hitler? Could he be? And is white genocide real? It's also a topic we're going to talk about. That's going to be part of it. So do tune into
I can't
that.
wait.
Yeah.
can't
And
wait.
this is the thing, man.
I'm ready.
This is what I want this podcast to be about. We talk about what some people would label as controversial, but I think that a lot of people will realize that our views and opinions are actually quite based, actually quite normal, actually quite like reasonable. At least mine are. I don't know about you. You're a bit of an
I
extremist.
mean, but that's logic and rationality is considered like extremist positions these days, and I think that's like a lot of people just have. And I think most people have a very rational, logical perception of things and try and analyze things from a logic and rational sort of standpoint. And they just don't want to say these things. But a lot of these things are. That's just how it is. And you don't have to look at it like that. But those are the people that can't air their opinions because it's, like you just said, Joe, it's extremist to be rational about things.
Anything to the left of Pelosi is...
Exactly.
Anything to the right of Pelosi is just extreme. That's something that
anything to the right of Antifa is considered extreme right.
Yes.
Right wing.
Maybe we should try and have an Antifa member come on. Oh, that would be.
Oh, that would be rad.
There's
this band I used to listen to, and then like I used to love them, and then I saw them play at an Antifa rally, and I was just like, never again.
What?
And then I started listening. Yeah, it's like this great band. I like their vibe. And then
Name and shame. Come on. He can't remember the name. Look at him. He's trying so hard. It's old age catching up to him right now. I told him if he ate more Boerewors, he'd
Anti-Flag. Sorry. The band's called Anti-Flag. They're actually like it's really good music.
Well, it kind of makes sense that they would be at Antifa, to be honest with that name.
Yeah. But I mean, I saw them play the one, like I think this was the height 2000. think just before the Black Lives Matter protests or riots, that's when Anti-Flag was. I saw them in the street doing a gig, and I was just like, oh, kill me.
But we're definitely going to talk about conspiracy theories. Talk about Mark wants to talk about 9/11 with me because I'm American. For those of you who don't know, living in South Africa, and he wants to. Man, I'll do it because here's the thing, right? So I'm not a baby when it comes to conspiracy theories, right? Like I'll listen to your conspiracy theory. I'll listen to your conspiracy. I mean, I was very much into the 9/11 conspiracy theories when I was younger, right? And there's a lot of stuff that's come out, and I mean, even as a proud American, I question what happened that day. So happy to have that discussion with you. Happy to have many other discussions. I mean, I do. You know what I would love to do, Mark?
Yeah.
We got to find someone. We got to find someone who is a staunch flat earther, and we got to get him on the show.
Dude, I love all conspiracies. The flat earth conspiracy was one of my favorite conspiracies just because of the complete scale of it. Like, it is just so hectic. It's like, to me, it was kind of up there with like aliens. Do aliens exist? Because of just the scope of it. But what I couldn't understand was just people's complete vitriol to it. It's like people would just like lose their mind. I think one or two of my friends, I was like, have you heard about flat earth theory? And they're like, just instantly, are you a flat earther? And I'm like, no, I'm just have you heard about it? It's, they're like, no, I don't, it's nuts. I'm going, okay, we can still chat about it though. They just lost their minds.
Well, don't worry, Mark. Weird. I'm not going to be like that.
We must get a flat earther on. I'd love to like have a proper discussion with, like a proper flat earther.
Exactly. Cause like would
be awesome.
I'm not convinced.
I
don't it's a globe. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, of course. But like the idea of it, it's like that whole vibe of like, it's like that all forms of government are in on this lie.
I'm going to prepare questions, man. I'm going to prepare questions.
Make a movie about it. Oh yeah.
I'll prepare questions. Like, yeah, but if it is like this, then why isn't it like that? Like these kind of like really good, like, anyway, I'll do a bit of research. I'll find out what the most like common theories are that prove, like, it's like I've seen a lot of clips, of flat earth people
debunking like, the globe.
Yeah, and like saying,
I've seen a lot of that stuff.
There's like this one interview, this guy was saying like in the Antarctica, right? There's a wall in the Antarctica, whatever, which is why you're not allowed to go. There's militarized and blah blah blah. And then the host was like, or the host of the show was like, but how do you know that if nobody's been there? How do you know that?
But I mean, that's the same thing. But to me, it's like it's the sort of flat Earth theory is the same as sort of the alien thing. It's like, yeah, there's aliens, and they're traveling at light speed, and I'm going like, well, that's just like that's mathematically improbable.
Star Wars.
You know what I mean? It's like, so like, why would they come here? Like aliens come here and they probe our bums. Why would you come? Why would you do that? I would not travel that far to do that. Like, I wouldn't even drive to your house to just do that. I'd at least want to braai, hang out, and then I'll do that. But like, just to do that and keep quiet about it, it's just weird. It doesn't make sense to me.
If you think I'm gonna let you probe me, you got another thing coming, man. No, so these are not the only topics we're going to talk about. We're talking about, like I said at the beginning of the show, we're going to talk about anything and everything. And guys, listen, for those of you that are listening in, please comment in the comment section. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or any of the podcasts, whatever platform you're listening to this, comment below and let us know, what topics would you like us to discuss? What, maybe you want us to go and have an in-depth conversation about Barbie and its ridiculousness. I don't know. Maybe you want us to talk about the Titanic. Maybe you want us to talk about, I don't know, corn dogs and how they're made. I don't know. Anything and everything we will pretty much talk about, as long as we are, the only thing we are constricted by is the monetization policies of the platforms that we're on.
The powers that be.
Unfortunately.
Susan Wojcicki's.
But other than
our
that,
overlords.
Other than that, we're happy to talk. I mean, like, I'm even like thinking about it now, like I would love to get a flat earther, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah, you can't talk. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't even really like.
I think YouTube would demonetize
Yeah,
it.
no, YouTube would demonetize it,
And I don't think it would be allowed on
also,
Spotify.
I mean, I was watching a show last night. Sorry, we're talking Disney and time. There's a new show on Netflix called Painkiller, and it was.
Ooh, I'm watching that right now. Don't spoil it.
Oh, dude, it's really cool. No, I won't spoil it. But I was just thinking, how is that possible after what happened 2 years ago?
How it is, Mark. Every conspiracy theory comes true 10 years later. That's just how it works.
But the thing is, this happened. I remember my wife was watching a lot of the stuff. Like there's another show called The Pharmacist. I watched it on Netflix in February, like just before the thing happened. And I was the first thing going, wait, government plus these pill companies plus, the medical. And I'm going, ooh, these three things. I've seen this before. And, a little bit hesitant. And I was like, but not again, could we even talk about it? Because it relates to kind of that sort of thing. And this is, I wish there would be I wish Uncle Elon would make a streaming service where we could just say things.
Maybe for those who are listening, they'd be interested in this to know. Like, we'll also upload our stuff to Rumble and Odyssey. So if there is a controversial episode that we get in trouble for, and when I say controversial, quotes here, air quote controversial, you guys can watch it there, because we do want to be on almost every platform. So look out for that stuff. And I mean, these are all topics upcoming. We'll see. We've got next episode pretty much we decided. We'll have a look at your comments and see if there's what episode 3 could be. I think for now we'll just see where this goes, man. And I'm very excited to be doing this with you. I'm very excited to be doing a podcast. We've been wanting to do a podcast for a very long time. So very excited about this. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, didn't even conclude yet. Don't watch Barbie and don't go to Disney World. And unless, put it this way: if you're woke, go by all means. Enjoy,
or if you can afford it,
that too. We all know how rich woke people are.
No, but I just had to say this though, because I saw somebody posted a day at Disney World was cost them having lunch, breakfast, family of 4, mom and dad, 2 kids, spending a day at Disney World, tickets, just food, lunch, snacks, about $4,000 to $5,000. Yeah, so over here it says the average
it's almost $100K, almost $100K for a family of 4. Even $2,000, right? So let's say you did you had a corn, you popped it and you ate it, and then you did 2 rides. That would cost you 38,000 Rand, just north of 38,000 Rand.
Yeah, I found the article. Average day, typical Walt Disney vacation for a family of 4 in 2023 will cost about $5,240. Oh, that's for 7. That's for 7 days, 6 to 7 days. My bad. So it's about $1,000 a day, $1,000 a day.
Okay, 7 days though isn't too bad. 7 days though isn't too bad. That makes a little bit more sense. $5,240 comes to about just over 100,000 Rand.
Car.
7 days, you will spend 100,000 Rand. 6 to 7, whatever.
6 days.
Yeah, well that makes sense. Jeez, in a day though, holy crap!
God Lord. What does coffee cost?
That costs your testicles, sir.
Here's a kidney. Can I come?
Anyway, so yes, don't. Go watch Barbie if you. Don't take our word for it. Just go watch Barbie. Go watch Barbie and tell us what you thought. And also let us know, are you if there's any females watching, are you one of those ones that were hardcore supporters of Barbie and went to go watch it anyway? And let us know what you thought about our guest, and let us know what you thought about this podcast. But also in conclusion, Mark, you also need to do a conclusion thing. What's your final thoughts?
No, I think go watch it. Don't take everybody's opinion. Watch it for yourself and then see if our opinion or our thoughts on it align with what you saw. A lot of times people go watch it and you see one thing and you're going, oh, it's awesome. And you don't notice the little sprinklings of does this make sense? It's kind of pointless. It's silly. But I think the best takeaway from it is that, making a movie that's so feminist and it turns out to be, it's almost a rebuke of the ideology, which is kind of cool. But go watch it. Yeah. And
don't go to Disney.
Yeah, Disney sucks.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our first episode. We did it, Mark.
Yay!
For those of you that are listening to this, thank you so much. If you listened to the very end, please, if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel or subscribe to the podcast. And we'll catch you at the next one, I guess. And remember, stay based.
Yay!